Good evening once again, and welcome to the third day. We are on the third day of this program. Just a quick chat before we begin our class. How are you feeling today? A quick check in. Great. I can see thumbs up going up the screen. Okay. So, today's class would be more to do with mindfulness, relaxation. However, there will be some inputs about symbols, but we won't go very deep because my aim is to kind of relax you all, de stress you all. At the same time, we will look into appreciating art. Now, can someone tell me why we need to appreciate art? Why is this required for an art-based therapy course wherein I've been constantly telling you that we need not be artists? But why do we need to appreciate art or look at art in certain ways? Why is it mandatory? Can someone help me out? Understand what is your understanding about this?
It's basically understanding human emotions, other people's emotions, and how they express it, different forms of it.
Mhm.
Through that, basically, I think it's one form of like understanding empathy and understanding how differently like these things can take shape.
Exactly. So, as art based therapists, we will have a tendency to analyze a lot of things. We'll have a tendency to, we are actually conditioned in a way that we need to appreciate
Sorry
it.
for interruption. Can we say it as simply like accepting and just accepting what client is
Exactly.
representing in
Exactly.
their art form?
You're just, you have just taken away my words. So, thank you for that input. Yes.
Or
Accept,
like a medium, ma'am, or like a
yes.
medium to understand someone better.
Absolutely. So, without any judgment, we are just focusing on the art piece. Okay. We are trying to connect with the feeling rather than the quality of the art piece. Okay. It's not about the quality which we are seeing. We will look into the process or maybe the emotions which were attached with context to the art piece. Okay, so it's basically like detaching yourself from analysis, detaching yourself from that mental conditioning that art means it has to be beautiful, it has to be aesthetic. So, this particular sensitization, I would say, is extremely important as therapists or even as clients yourselves. That, I should not be engaged in something which I become very conscious of. I may not be a good artist or I may not know drawing at all. So, this will help you to move away from that notion of being perfect or being, making good art. Okay, so this class would be dedicated towards that. But at the same time, we'll be learning about a few aspects of art based therapies wherein you can look more deeper into the psyche of the person. Okay, so are we ready? Right. So I hope the slide is visible. Just a moment. So again, I start off with a quote: Life beats down and crushes the soul, and art reminds you that you have won. So Stella Adler had quoted this line, and what it means is that life will give you a lot of ups and downs, but art is a form where you can de stress, and it's a kind of a catharsis which you get into. So, with that thought, let's move on. So, today's flow would be a guided imagery technique, which I'll be showing you. There will be a few snippets of artists and their disorders, not exactly their disorders, but they have been, there had been life crises. So, this will be more of a research based assignment for you. I will be giving you a few snippets based on which you'll be doing your assignment. Then we'll move on to two more techniques and then no contact meditative painting, which I'll be doing towards the end, followed by the offline assignment, which is a part of this course. A few people from Calcutta, I'll be meeting you in Sunday. Others, you can do it at your own hometown with the basic guidelines which I'll be giving you. Okay, so let's start off. This exercise, I'll be showing you two pictures, one after the other. But before that, you would need to be moved into a relaxation stage. Okay, so if you are kind of seated somewhere, please feel comfortable in whichever position you are. Keep your eyes closed. Keeping your eyes closed will help you to focus more. And that is highly recommended. I'll be playing a very, very light music. Okay, I'm not sure whether it will be audible or not, but that doesn't matter. Just follow my words. It will be a very short meditative exercise based on which we'll be reflecting on a few questions. So are we ready? If we can have a few thumbs up, then I'll start.
Sure.
All of you can look at the screen first. There's this abstract picture which is on screen. Once you have the picture in your mind's eye, try to close your eyes, relax your body. Relax your brow muscles, relax your eyes. Your shoulders, let it droop. Your backbone, your hips, your arms, your legs. Let your toes touch the ground or wherever you're sitting, lying. Just feel the ground. Focus on your breath. Keep your eyes closed. Once you feel relaxed, try to step into this painting. As if you're there. Step inside and feel through all your five senses. Sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. Feel the air, smell, touch things around. Hear and see. What do you see there? You've stepped into someone else's painting. Now it's your world. How does it feel? How does the creator's world feel? What is around you? What are you doing? Take some time to visualize yourself inside the painting. It's time to come back. Visualize yourself coming back to your own world gradually and into your space, your reality. You can slowly open your eyes and come back. So, if you're okay, I would like to know how you felt while you were into the meditative state or when you were visualizing the place.
It felt like I went
It's
to a dream.
very calming, and like we feel like we are lost at that place. Like na, there is no burden, like nothing going in the mind. Very peaceful. Like we can sit for a long time over there. If we have a time, so I can like sit for a long time. Like nothing is going in the mind.
Yes. So this is kind of a mindfulness technique. I wouldn't say it's a full-blown mindfulness because we just did it for maybe 5 minutes or so. It is a guided imagery technique and it has proven to be very powerful in relaxing the body instantly. It has the power. The visualization which you are incorporating is like a forced visualization, of course. So what happens here is when you're forced to go into a space wherein it's very calming, that helps us to kind of relax our body instantly. because many a times we are clueless as to what is happening inside us. There's a turmoil going on and we don't know exactly how to meditate. If there's someone who can guide you, if you have an audio recorded, or if you can do it with your clients or even with yourself, if you have your own audio recorded, you that facilitates the mindfulness. Okay, that's the first purpose it serves. Okay, the next one we'll be moving on. I'll be showing you if you're ready, because I know it's pretty quick in succession. We are doing stuff because of lack of time. But the next picture which I'll be showing you, try to do it with your own self. Okay, without my voice in the background. Try to do it with yourself. Get inside the picture, because you'll be needing to do this when you're in the museum or any art gallery which you'll be visiting physically. So you need to put yourself inside the picture and try to figure out what's happening. Okay, then we'll try to connect the dots. All right, are you ready then? So the next picture is this. I'll give you approximately 2 minutes time to get inside the picture and start visualizing what you're doing, how you're interacting, how you're feeling, what's happening out there. In case you want to write it down in the chat or in your journal, you can write it down. That's a good practice. So it would be great if you can write it down somewhere. Okay, let's wrap up. Okay, so before we go into the reflective questions, can someone volunteer to share their experience? Both the pictures, if you can. Yes, tell me.
Right. So I think it was a great exercise, this one and the previous one as well, because here I think I could almost, so what I experienced is that I was there and I was socializing with people, talking to people. It was a very positive experience overall. And something, also what came to my mind is that this is something which we could use with social anxiety as well. When you're seeing an artwork and trying imagining yourself there in a social situation, how you're feeling, experiencing, and reflecting on it. So I think it was a great exercise. So yeah.
Okay. If anyone wants to share what they saw or how they were interacting in the first one and the second one.
Ma'am,
If you
can
can
I?
quickly.
I want to share
Yes.
my experience. In the first situation, like I'm with myself, right? The second picture, what I saw that I have to pretend in the social gathering. If I'm not happy, I have to pretend like I am happy. I can't show my emotion in the with the people, right? So this
Okay.
is what the people are more pretending uh, rather than the first one.
Okay. Okay. Got it. So it's like in the first picture, you can be you. In the second picture, it was more of a forced interaction, which you don't prefer. Generally, you're like okay with yourself and at home and doing your own thing. Okay.
Yes.
Anyone else?
Ma'am, can I? Ma'am, I want to share.
Ratnil?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Tell.
Ma'am, in the first picture, when I visualized, I felt atmosphere of rainy season. It's not a season, weather. Smell of soil and feeling flowers around me and grass. And then more into when I went to more into visualization, I felt like I am with my family, my with my kids and with my husband. They are all are enjoying the weather. I am happy to see them. And in second picture, it was like everyone is enjoying at the party, and I was happy to introduce myself. I was feeling happy, and I was happy to tell about myself, talking about past funs with my old friends, struggles we did, or if someone is having currently, and talking about the family. Currently, where we are standing, I mean, are we married or are we just single and looking for it in that way? And overall, in the both the pictures, I felt really positive and happy.
Okay. That's great. Dinaz, you want to share your experience?
Yes, the first one, I felt really peaceful. It was absolutely calming, relaxing. And I even enjoyed the second one because I was enjoying, I imagined playing a soft jazz music in the background,
Okay.
people looking at me, and they are happy that I arrived in the painting, or so to speak, the room that the party is being hosted. And I could smell some dishes, and I was just taking in the environment. And uh, after you said to come out of it, and I could journal it down, both of them were very differently happy. Like the first one, I'm with myself, I'm playing with sand. I imagine I'm at a beach or someplace. It's very quiet and I'm enjoying the sunrise or the sunset. The second one, even with people around, it was amazing. So thank you for the experience. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. I'm glad. Yes, Rakshaya.
Ma'am, I have few doubts with this because for initially when you asked to get into the first picture, I felt little difficult to go inside the picture. I
Okay.
can't visualize myself completely into the picture. I can rather the animated version of myself were present in the picture, so that part was little difficult. And and the first experience, I felt little hard to be alone, and consciously I was uh, picking out. I was trying to put out people. Actually, people were present when I am trying to imagine myself in that scenario. So my conscious efforts were to just stick with the painting what you have shown. So that was some difficulty I faced when I thought of imagining it. The second picture was not that much hard for me, and that was little easy. And I was with another person, someone who, the dear person, and I felt really comfortable in the second situation. So
Oh,
I thought of sharing it.
okay. Great. Great. I'm pretty sure all of you may have felt comfortable mostly with the first kind of picture. But the second one, what you need to look into is the second one is a social setup. Okay, if you are projecting certain uncomfortable emotions, that means there will be some form of anxiety related to social situations, or the fear of judgment. If you find that surfacing in their responses when they're into a social situation, you're basically letting the person get inside a situation where it's a kind of a social circle. You're partying that way. So you'll get reflections of how the person's personality is first and the type of anxiety they are facing. That's the analysis part. But even apart from that, both of them can give you a kind of an insight as to how the person functions with themselves alone. The first picture is kind of relaxing, but with that, you are serving the purpose of symbols. So, what all did you find? The keywords which come up in your writing, you can highlight that. And we have something called the symbol dictionary, wherein you can refer to the patterns and the symbols coming up, resurfacing, and then you can start analyzing your conflicts or your defenses, which we talked about last week. Okay, so again, I recommend you reading about defense mechanisms, because that will be a very, very core aspect of everyone, in fact, whoever is coming to you, or even when you're working with yourself. So the first picture, again, I'm summing up, it relaxes you. That can be a guided relaxation technique. Second, it will serve your purpose in understanding what all symbols are coming up. If the person is not open to discussions, do not discuss. That's not important. It's just for your reference. Okay. But you will get a lot of insights. Say, for example, Rakshaya was talking about, I couldn't get inside the picture. So there's some form of denial going on here, defense mechanism, where she's not facing the reality or facing herself. Or maybe I'm analyzing you, sorry for that, but since this is a closed group, so it's
Not an issue.
basically like there's a kind of a wall in front of you which you are unable to penetrate through. Either it can be due to stress, or it can be due to a defense mechanism which has become your core self. Okay, so try to figure out why you could not cross the line, or why you couldn't enter that painting. Okay.
Thanks for the insight.
And
Ma'am,
the third insight which you can do is difference between the first painting and the second painting. If there are major differences, say for instance, you felt really peaceful in the first painting, but was very disturbed by the social situation, that means there's a need for getting inside yourself and relaxing yourself. Maybe you're not very comfortable with social interactions. Yes, there are a couple of questions here. Priyanka?
Ma'am, but I was very much comfortable to get socialized with the second painting, but it was very hard with the first painting.
See, as a kind of an art analyst, I can tell you there's a major defense going on as denial. Certain things about yourself which you're trying to, pack it around and move it. You are maybe, it's difficult for you to face it. Certain things which maybe needs improvement, or maybe needs attention, that is kind of shrouded by your socialization. You would prefer, rather than introspecting, you would prefer to go into socialization and forgetting about all the stress in your life. Okay, so try to reflect on that what is stopping you to introspect. There are a lot of hands going up, but unfortunately we don't have so much. So I can take Priyanka, is the first one in queue. Yes, quickly.
Yeah. So what happened in my case was, for the first picture, I also saw something in quite like animated format, but for the second one, I saw a human version of me. Does that say something? Like, because the first is quite peaceful and I could follow your lead and go through it. It was an animated version. It felt like a Ghibli movie, that I'm stepping into a mountain and everything. Does that say something?
See, again, if you go by the kind of defenses which I had listed, this is form of a fantasy. If you're seeing a lot of fairies and animations and cartoons, this form of
Right.
fantasy. So it's more like you are into that defense of, getting into your own sweet world and forgetting about the rest of reality. So that can be one of the major defenses which are coming up.
Right. Thank you so much.
Yes. Yes, one more question and then we'll move on to the next part. Whoever wants to speak.
Uh, just a like small thing. So basically, you're mentioning that it could be defense. Well, I felt, because even I saw myself animated, but what I feel about this thing is that, what if like I wanted to blend in with the world, because it was already like painted and there's like textures and different things going on there. So what I personally felt was, when I was animated, I felt like I was being one with the environment, or being one with the reality that I was like put into. So what do you think about that?
Absolutely okay. If you feel that yes, you want to, blend in and you want to be a part of your own inner world, it's absolutely fine. It's the way you are introspecting, in fact. That's more important. Okay, so thereby I said analysis can happen later. It's not important, but how you are introspecting, how you're journaling in, that's more important. Okay, nothing is right and wrong in this particular technique. Okay,
I
so
have
generally
one question.
we psychoeducate for understanding what all defenses work for us, because always defenses may not be detrimental. It also helps us in a lot of ways. But if it is like repetitive, if it is causing a lot of social distress or personal distress, then it can be damaging. Right? So it's all about your own introspection, how you're moving forward. It gives you a lot of insights. I'll be sharing the set of introspection questions wherein you
Ma'am, I
can
have
write
just
down
one
more
question, ma'am.
details. Yes, tell me quickly.
Yeah, just one question is that in the first picture, I felt like playing with the colors, okay,
Mhm,
like
mhm,
jumbling the colors, like interchanging colors from top to bottom, vice versa. And in real life also, I really love playing with different like poster colors, watercolors, mixing them. And in day-to-day life also, I want everything to be very bright and colorful. For
mhm.
example, I don't like the gray color or the black color at all. I don't have any
Okay.
reason, but they seem to be dull to me. This
Mhm,
is absolutely my own personal feelings. So
okay.
is there any indication, like playing with colors, even with
It can
crayons
be an
also?
indication of overstimulation. Your nervous system is always stimulated and it has taken up, your brain has taken up that pattern. Unless and until it's overstimulated, you feel restless as if you're not doing anything.
Ma'am, overstimulated means here?
You want to work all the time. It's more like you have to work or you feel empty.
It's not that, like, basically I love to dream and like acquiring more and more knowledge. That is my passion, knowing
Mhm.
something
Right,
related
right.
to my area of interest.
So there's something, it's more of occupation. You're occupying your mind all the time. You're occupying yourself all the time.
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay,
Reflect
thanks.
on that. Things will come up more often, like what is it that you need to do it repetitively and why you need to do it repetitively.
Actually, I have a like curiosity for learning certain domains. For example, psychology is one, then foreign languages. There are bits and parts. Like I'm very inquisitive type of person, and it's related to some specific fields, not all. So
Right.
that question goes on like having a busy schedule. When can I do that? When can I do that
Exactly. That's
course?
what I meant. It's like occupied all the time. So there's an overstimulated nervous system.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Too
Okay,
many
done.
bright colors and too many colors all the time would indicate that you're overstimulated.
Ma'am, anything else? Because even at
You
home
try to
also,
introspect. I wouldn't give you the analysis unless and until
I
I
have
see an
tried a lot because I have asked this question many a time. Even with bed sheets or something, I prefer yellow color or light blue or mauve, something which shines back. I have asked this question many times. I did not get the answer.
Okay,
That's
let's
why
see
I'm
by the end
asking.
of the course if you can find. So one day you will not find your answers. Okay, so it's like a process. So we have to keep on doing the activities, and then in the end we lay down everything and see what patterns are coming up. So just be a little more patient. Let's see what it comes up. So these are a few reflective questions which you can engage in. Do not copy anything because I'll be sending you this PPT again as a PDF form. So you can just, engage in these questions and see what all responses are coming up. Shumon was asking some question. Would you like to ask anything?
Yes, like in the second picture, I would want to just share with all. Like I saw myself from the Stanley Hotel from The Shining, the last picture that they showed in the film. So it quite was similar to me for that. But the music over there was eerie, but I could feel that it was kind of soothing. It was eerie that okay, I could not see anyone's face, but it was quite soothing also that everyone is a revere mood. It was music were playing, but it was kind of in that picture, the from the movie Shining, the last picture. So I wanted to share that because I thought it was quite unusual for me to see that.
Why do you feel it's unusual?
Because I could see myself, but not the pictures of any other people over there. Like if I could visualize over there, I could only see my face popping out in the picture in the center, but otherwise I couldn't see anyone else's picture. But it didn't make me uncomfortable. It was quite enjoyable, but it had a vibe of eeriness into it.
Okay, so eeriness to you, what would it mean?
It kind of felt like I did not know anyone or like anything in about the place. I was not sure about the place, but I could see them. So I could not get any information coming from them, like what are they doing, what are they saying, or what are they feeling. But I could see them. So it was kind of a eerie feeling that okay, I could not understand what they're saying.
Okay, and what about the social situation? How were you
Yeah, that
feeling?
in the social situation, I did not feel any uncomfortness. Like it was quite soothing. The music was there. There was plenty of people roaming around, but I could not gather any information from them, like their body language, their facial expressions. Nothing was there.
So can you relate to your personality characteristics in your everyday life?
I could, in somewhat sense, because I look for cues and information from people by their behavior, what they're saying, what they're doing, and their facial expression. So when I couldn't see that in the picture, I felt like, okay, this is kind of eerie, but it didn't make me uncomfortable.
Maybe I shouldn't be analyzing, but since you told me that, it's about validation which you're looking for, external validation which you look for. You might be confident about what you're doing, but then there is an underlying external validation. So try to figure out why you need that validation. That's going to solve your problem.
Okay.
Why is that validation required for you? And
Okay.
how will it change you in any possible way, or how will it make you feel much more better? So why is that validation required?
Okay, I'll see what I can find.
Yes, try to journal in with
Yes, I
these.
am journaling it from the first day. I'm trying to journal in all the things I'm saying.
Great. Okay, so these are a few pointers. I don't know how it became so tiny, but the basic aspects of viewing art would be emotional expression and regulation. So the more you view art, the more you get inside pictures, the better it would be to feel what it is all about. Okay, so self-exploration and reflection is one part of it. The next part is cognitive processing and insight. It keeps on making your brain much more active. Okay, so it's also cognitively very charging. It makes you more inquisitive, it makes you more intuitive, and it makes your brain much more active and creative. The more you do it, the better it is. Then it also develops your empathy and your own personal perspective. Trauma processing and healing comes through a lot of processing of these images because you can relate Maybe you can, we'll be doing 2 exercises. So once you start engaging in that conversation storytelling, it will help you to process your own wounds and it will lead you to heal as well. Mindfulness and relaxation will come through guided imagery. If the more you do it yourself, the more you'll practice it, the more easily you'll get into a calm state without any assistance. And of course, for social connection and community building, which we'll be doing it on Sunday. Okay, so it's like a group activity which we'll be doing based on what we are learning today. Now, I wanted to quickly go through these paintings because these are very, very famous painters, very famous paintings. I'm pretty sure a few of it you have also come across. These painters, almost all of them had some psychological issues or the other, and 2 of them had major issues. Like Van Gogh, he had the psychotic episode. You can see the second one, the self-portrait and with bandaged ear. There's a very famous, painting wherein he actually had cut off his own ear during a psychotic episode. The first one, Starry Night, he used to stare at the sky for days and days and days, and then he painted this because he was into a lot of depression. You can read about them. The link is given here. You can read about it. It's pretty interesting how they experienced life and how they express themselves through these paintings. Then this is another very famous sketch or drawing, you can say, the Scream. It also expressed the anger or the distress which the painter was going through. Edward Munch. And the next one, Cafe. This is an emotional state expression where she used dark colors and very, very grim lines expressing the inner anxiety and depression. One second. This painting, where did it go? Oh God. Okay. This one, try to Google up. Okay, this painting, this particular person had major alcoholism issues, which led to depression, anxiety. Okay, and he kind of suffered a lot. So there are lots of therapy notes also based on this. He was a pretty famous painter. Okay, so there are lots of therapy notes. He went to a therapist for a very long period of time, psychoanalysis based on Jung's theory, and he came up with a lot of painting. The most famous painting is the Blue Pole. Okay, so I'll be showing you in a while the Blue Pole, wherein he kind of engaged in abstract painting. He took out all his anxieties, frustrations, stress on those paintings, okay, while he was recovering from these therapy sessions. And these therapy... Yes, ma'am?
May I know the artist's name? Like,
yes, you need to find out. That's your assignment.
Okay.
Okay. So this is another famous painting, the two Fridas. You can read about her. This also, you can just take down few notes on these because all of them had psychological disorders and all of them are very famous painters. Just a moment, let me see. I need to skip a slide because I put it. This one was all about existential crisis. I'm pretty sure you must have heard about this existential crisis. It's widely used in some form of therapy. Can someone name it? Anyone who can name it? Existential crisis. Do you know what existential crisis is?
It's basically what the painting is named.
Yes, exactly. Yes, thank you. Yes, what the painting is named. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going to? Who are we? Why are we here? All these are kind of life crises wherein we lose, not lose ourselves, but we start thinking as to why we are born. Okay, and it's also closely related to dissociation as well. So this painter was going through these episodes where this particular painting was made. So your assignment would be to find out about that artist. I'll be showing you the blue poles. You can easily Google up, in fact, no, not a problem. Um, look through all the artwork, not only these, but anything which you can get hold of, not only limited to the ones which I showed you, and read about the artist's mental state and write essays on your reflection. This is optional, but if you do it, that will give you a lot of insight as to how they functioned, and even through your artwork, what are you trying to reflect. So that's kind of connection building, community connection building, which we'll be looking into. Any questions here? This is an optional assignment again. You need not do it, but it would be always good if you can at least reflect on one or two. That will give you a lot of interesting facts as well about these artists. Because art therapy's basis is through artist itself, because they thought they can express themselves. They felt lighter while they were expressing themselves through the artwork. And that's where these ideas of art-based therapies came up from. So it's always good to, link yourself through those paintings, which are already established, their analysis made, and you see how you can relate to it. Okay. Yes, I can see a couple of hands. Yes, Inaz? Tell me.
Ma'am, would there be any journal prompts specific that you would want in these essays on these reflection, or just free flowing?
No, it will be a free flow, because
Okay.
A lot of them has journal prompts, but then if
Mm.
it's a few of them can be free flowing as well.
Okay.
You can get used to the pattern, both the patterns then in that case.
All right. Thank you.
Yes. So I'm moving on to the next technique. This I've been using for a pretty long period of time for all the school students. Works very well with older children, teenagers, the storytelling part. It's like they give you instant reflections of what they're thinking. This is basically a projective technique. You must have come across this. All those who are in the field of psychology, you must have come across this particular thing. So what you need to do is construct a narrative. This is a storytelling technique through art. Okay, so there will be a picture I'll be showing you. Based on that, there will be 3 questions on which you need to write a very short story. So this is a writing task also, not much of a drawing task. Okay, so are we ready? This famous picture. Who can tell me what this is? Anyone here who knows which picture is this?
The card one from PAT.
Yes.
Right.
Hemetic apperception. There's the first card. Okay, and I generally use this. I have a laminated one. This picture is not very clear, but still, I have this laminated one ready with me. So I use it widely, and it gives amazing results. Okay, so based on this, since you're already sensitized, this is a technique which you'll be learning, but still do it along with the class. Okay, so on this picture, you can see certain things. There's no right, wrong responses. Whatever you see is correct. Whatever you can reflect on is correct. There's no wrong answer to it. So there are 3 questions here, based on which you need to construct a story, a basic story. What was happening? What is happening? What will happen? So in other words, you can say what was happening prior to what is happening right now, what led to this particular situation, and what do you think will happen after this? What will be the consequences? So write a very short one, maybe a 3-line story will also do. Okay, so quickly, just 2-3 minutes time. You need not reflect a lot and write it down. Whatever comes to your mind first, write it down. discourage people from asking questions about the picture. Even if they ask, okay, is this, is this that, you tell them that what do you feel it is? Whatever you are viewing is correct. There's no right or wrong to it. This is again a projective technique which will give insights into what's happening currently with you. Okay, if anyone is done.
Ma'am,
Sorry, ma'am, what was the last question? What
What
was
will it
is
lead to? What will it lead to, or what will be the consequences, or what will happen next?
Ma'am, I'm prepared.
Okay, yes, if you want to share.
Yes, I wrote that the boy is worried about how he will play the violin. He is practicing what he will be performing in his head, that is visualizing. Then, before this, he got a task to play a violin. And after this picture, it will be he will take baby steps and will learn to play the violin and succeed.
Okay, okay. A few more responses, then we'll go into how to
ma'am, can I?
take insights from there. Yes,
Ma'am,
yes.
can I?
Shalini.
Ma'am,
Yes,
I mean, I was playing a guitar. Suddenly, I gave it more force to it, so a string got broken. Now I'm feeling sad, but I'll ask someone to fix it so that I can learn and play.
okay, okay.
So
I,
the
I
story
found the
I
boy is not so much interested in doing that activity. Like something has been forced to do that, and he's not at all willing to do to play a guitar.
So
Okay.
the story that I constructed is that there's like this nice studio artist space. It belongs to this guy's elder brother. He's into music, art, and different things. And this kid basically goes into the room, and he's just like curious about the different things kept there. And he looks at the violin, and he just like tries to like do something with it, and finally like he breaks it. So now he's sitting and he's waiting for his brother to return so that he can confess that, bro, I've done this. And he feels like somewhere his brother will like, like not really like scold him, but they can fix it together.
Okay. Okay. All right. Jasmine, your rights came from school, asked to practice violin, but he seems too fatigued, will probably contemplate to play it or not. Okay. Manjima, the tree DDS technique, the tree we'll be doing when we are doing HTP. Okay. I've told you already in the last class. Yes, any more responses?
Ma'am, I didn't give more attention to the violin, so I thought it was some book or something. So
Absolutely
there
fine.
was some misunderstanding there. So I thought that boy was
One second, one
struggling to
second.
study.
Sorry to interrupt. There's no
Oh,
misunderstanding. If you've seen a book, it's a book. We'll not.
okay,
It may not be a violin at all. If you're seeing it
okay,
as a book,
okay,
it's a book.
okay.
As a therapist,
So
if you're doing it on someone, if someone tells you it's a teddy bear, also that is also correct. You're not going to give them any kind of insight.
okay, ma'am, understood.
So I felt like the boy was struggling to study or overwhelmed about their current situation and how his things going to revolve about that. And the past was like, or maybe the boy was worried about the struggles he had put. It was going to get wasted. So maybe he is thinking in that way.
Mhm.
And maybe he also feels a little uncertain about future and he's doubtful about what is going to happen because of the actions or current scenario. So
Okay.
I can
Okay.
understand what I'm going through.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yes,
So
thank you.
this particular technique, all of you must have your own story, short or long, whatsoever. This will give you certain insights. If it's a kid or a teenager, this will give you insights about how the home environment is, first of all, or majorly interactions between a parent and a child. The first situation, what they're experiencing on a daily basis. Either it's a teacher or a parent or some caregiver. Okay, if it's something negative, you need to explore the family structures also. Okay, but for adults, it's more towards their workspace, even parents, of course, parents, or their spouse or their children. So all these areas, the social areas which you have, the immediate social areas which you have, they will give you a reflection of as to what is happening currently with your life. If you reflect on your own story, you will see that's how you're functioning at this moment. If there is some problem, you are functioning in a particular way, and your consequences are also based on what your understanding is right at this moment.
Could it be the inner child as well?
Inner child, not always, ma'am. How would you like to place it?
So basically, when I saw the kid, like I felt like I was seeing myself there, irrespective of the gender.
Okay. Okay.
So that's how I could construct the story in the first place.
Mm-hmm. If you find some resemblance with your childhood, something which you have experienced, something which you're also carrying along, it might be a reflection of your inner child. Absolutely.
Okay, but I actually saw like myself in this current age. I mean, I didn't go back to my childhood, but I just saw like soul wise, the spirit wise, it's just me sitting there and basically wondering what to do next. So that way I thought like maybe it's the inner child.
Reflect on your current situation, what you're going through. Is there any doubt of undertaking certain projects or whatever you're doing? Is there a lot of criticisms from the environment for
Got
which
it.
you're unable to move on? Okay, you're doubtful about certain things,
Got it.
right?
Yep.
Not always an inner child, but it's more to do with your current life. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, it's more to do with the projection is more to do with your current life and what kind of feedback you generally get from your environment. So it's a very, very quick technique to understand what's actually happening around them currently. And you'll see as and when you go about your year, if you check in with yourself, you'll see your stories are also developing in a different way as and when situations change.
Got it. Yeah, please. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So this is a very quick technique, some basic instructions when you are doing it with children or doing it in the school setting or even your therapy setting. Try to take a kind of a printout and laminate so that you can use it as a card. You can show it on your laptop, no issues on that, but still, the feel and the look, it's much more better. Get a better printout of the same, and you can only use this card. It's more than enough to understand what's actually happening around them. Okay, and what they are, what kind of responses or consequences they are thinking of. So you'll see a lot of blocks also. If you see blocks, maybe you can work on the blocks. You can ask them question as to what is stopping you from doing it. Or if you're tired, what are the ways which you can, revive yourself? What are the ways where you can engage yourself in relaxing yourself? And then try out the particular activity. Okay, so you'll get certain insights as to how you can proceed with the person and what blocks them from doing it. What stops them, in fact. So a lot of conflicts will surface. Okay, I'm again moving on real quick because there's this whole thing left. Okay, this is the thing which I was talking about, the pole, the blue pole. And this will be a task. This is another technique which we generally engage in. This can be very, very reflective. So what you need to do is this particular painting, without reading about the painter first, what you do is try to have a conversation with the artist who created the artwork. Then you can write down questions you would like to ask the artist and respond as if you were the artist yourself. Okay, so it will be like a dual role playing dialogue which you're engaging in. After you go through this picture, try to ask the artist certain questions which you have in mind, and also in response you give the answers as if the artist is giving the answer. So you write both the dialogues. Okay, it's basically writing a story but through your own questions. And this activity will help you to gain a lot of insight into the interactions behind the artwork and how it relates to your own experiences as well. You'll see a lot of conflict questions are coming up. Whatever you want fulfillment, you will be asking the person. Okay, asking the artist through the artwork. So this is again a reflective as well as a projective technique. I will discuss this much more in detail towards the fag end, because after you get the hang of things, we'll be analyzing your script. You yourself, of course, will be analyzing your script and trying to find out the pattern. Okay, any questions here about this dialogue with the artist?
This is resembling like empty chat technique.
Sorry?
Is there any reason?
Empty chat,
This is-
yes, it's a kind of a
yeah.
role-playing technique, but in a different way. It's more of art-based. Okay, so this is basically the dialogue with an artist where you are engaging in a conversation. As if the artist is present and you're playing both the roles. So it's
Okay.
basically you are asking conflict questions and you are giving your answers. So see how you're proceeding with your conflicts. Okay, because most of the time when we are facing our conflicts, we kind of block ourselves. We don't problem solve. We kind of shut down. So this will help you to move forward with your own conflict resolution.
Ma'am, in the previous
Ma'am, are we
So many questions. Yes, tell me.
so this would be more of journaling, like I am asking and I'm the one. So it would be more of writing both the
Yes.
Q&A.
Yes. This is a Gestalt technique, which is kind of modified into art-based technique. See, these you will not find it anywhere in your books and all. These are all kind of gathered through experiences and kind of mix and match. So you as a practitioner also have to modify certain things. Okay, whichever works best. Yes. Yes, Neha?
Ma'am, in the previous activity, what about the second and the third questions? What is happening and what will happen? Are they, is there anything associated with the answers of those as well?
Yes, what is happening is the current situation which you're into. There might be some conflict which is going on currently, and you have kind of a problem solving approach, but it may not be fruitful all the time. So like many of
Because I kind of got it like the strings of the violin broke, but at the end, what will happen was something positive. That is, it will get repaired. The violin, the strings of the violin is going to be repaired. So that is a positive outcome that is going to come.
Yes. So if you have, this
Yeah.
is a good question which I may have missed discussing. The ending, if it's a negative ending, if there is a block, you ask them to rewrite a positive ending. Because endings,
Yeah.
if those are negative, it generally reflects some form of abuse or some form of neglect or some form of block. So we want the
Okay.
clients to move forward, because out of say 10 children or adults, you will find 8 of them completely blocked or having a negative ending. If it's not a negative
Oh.
ending, then it's fine. They might be having good problem solving skills on which you can also develop it.
Yeah. So in that case, we should allow them to rework
Yes.
or find
Rework
something
through the writing,
until we
through
get a
the
positive.
stories. Yes.
Yeah.
See, this is
without
generally
telling them the outcome, right? Without the matlab,
yes.
we shouldn't forcefully tell them that it should be a
No,
positive outcome. We should
they
make
will
them,
they will make it. You
yeah.
can suggest them that why don't you try doing it in a different way? What can be a different ending to this story? Okay, or
Okay,
what is stopping the person from doing it?
okay,
How is the person feeling? So these are introspective questions which are very common. Even in few the last few classes also I've given you a set of introspection questions which you can
yeah.
reuse in all techniques. It's not necessary
Okay,
only that technique you have to use. So you have to use your
yeah.
insights as to what will be suitable.
Okay.
Just a question adding to what she was mentioning. What if like every time we make the person rewrite, they're eventually going towards a negative ending? What do we do in a situation like that?
Then you have to shift to some other. If it's children, you can move on to sand play technique. Because
Pardon?
they sand play technique where you have a sand tray and miniatures and they create a world.
Okay,
Their modifying becomes way more easier than writing
got
for
it.
children. For adults, you can always use other art forms or maybe CBT techniques. CBT will work here much
Okay,
more because
okay,
you need to understand the cognitive distortions here. Why is the person stuck?
got it.
Okay, so CBT will work there.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Ma'am, adding to the same point, what if the person says they are uncertain or confused?
Uncertainty and confusion, you can give them more problem solving techniques. Okay. Um, problem solving in the sense you can maybe incorporate riddle sometimes or abstract reasoning, those puzzles which you get wherein they start thinking for themselves in more concrete ways. Those are fun things which you can do between therapy sessions, which can also initiate a lot of dialogue and some fun element, which will also open up a lot of problem solving skills, the cognitive skills, in fact. And
Ma'am,
also CBT works here. CBT, the cognitive distortion, psychoeducation is very important here. What kind of
ma'am,
distortions they are into? Yes, yes.
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank
sorry
you,
to
ma'am.
interrupt you. Really sorry. Actually, I want to ask, like, there are some children who are involved in abstract craft, like creating something out of newspaper, ice cream sticks, straws, thermocol balls, etc.
Right.
They're making out stories out of them and narrating. Okay, a
Absolutely.
boy, girl, bag, diary with colored papers, daring and all. So, what does it indicate about those children, like their character? 5 year, 6 year old. Like my
See, they may
daughter
be
does it.
kinesthetic learners. There are different types of learners.
Yes,
Visual
yes.
learners, auditory learners, they might be kinesthetic learners. So you can
Actually,
do a
my
quick check.
daughter does it like taking newspaper, straw, ice cream sticks, making boy, girl,
Okay, that's
then
fine. That's
diary,
not
all
a
this.
problem. You need
No,
not
no, it's not
analyze
a problem.
everything.
No, it's not a problem, but I just thought of like it indicates something, maybe kinesthetic learner, just now
Yes,
you told.
kinesthetic learners generally get into a lot of crafts and all those things. They love making 3D structures.
Okay,
That
that's
might be
this.
one of the aspects. Okay, let's get into the last part, the last technique, in fact, and then there are assignments for Sunday, and for online students, you have to visit some place and then work on the same model, which we'll be doing it on Sunday. So you can pick and choose your own dates. There's no restriction in it. So for this particular technique, it's called no contact meditative painting. Since we started off with creative visualization, this is a form of meditative painting where we do not kind of touch the paper. Okay, so I'll be playing a very soft music. You take out your sheets. If you want to work with pastels, that's fine, but then watercolor would be the best way to work on this. Watercolor is the
Would
best way.
would one A4 sheet suffice for this
Yes, yes,
activity?
yes. No problem. No problem. Okay, can you see me? I'm not sure. Can you all see me?
Yes, we can.
Yes. I don't know where is the
Just a second, please.
Okay, this A4 sheet, it's a little thicker. It's a little bit thicker paper. A4 sheets will bleed, so it's not recommended. However, if you don't have, you can do it for the time being. And some watercolor paint. So are we ready? Okay. I'll be playing some music. The basic instruction is you need to put the paper on your work area or on the floor, wherever you are comfortable, and then splash water. After you wet the paper, may not be completely wet, you just splash the water and work it around like this. And after you are done wetting the paper, what you do is take your paintbrush, dip it in any paint, any kind of paint, any color, and just drip it. You're not going to touch the paper. Okay. And the music will aid you to relax even further. What you're going to do is when you're dripping the paint on the paper, try to observe how it's taking shape, and you can navigate the paper as when you want. Okay. Is the instruction clear? Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm playing a relaxation. What's happening now? I'm playing a music and I'm stopping the screen share so that if it's possible, if you can switch on your videos or something like that, maybe that will be really nice while we are working on this, because this is just a relaxation technique. There's nothing reflective, there's nothing, no analysis of it. It's just the process which we are getting into. And this is the easiest way to engage because, it's an abstract painting. There's no right or wrong to it. You just engage with the process. Okay. So are we all ready? You can get your paintbrushes, water. I'll try to show you how I'm doing it.
And ma'am, there are no restrictions on how many colors one can use, correct?
No restrictions at all. You can use n number of colors as per your choice.
And you can't use a brush to press, or you can't move the book.
It should be above the paper. You will just drip it.
Got it.
Okay, you'll just drip on the water which is there on the paper and let it take shape. You don't have any control what's happening on the paper.
Got it.
Okay, towards the end, we'll try to work it around, but that also is optional. You lay the paper on the floor and then you don't touch the paper at all.
Got it.
I have kind of pinned the paper. I'm not sure whether you can see it or not. Are you able to see?
No, ma'am. No.
Just a moment. Don't know why I can't. Anyway, I'll just show you this way itself. One second. This is your paper. You just drip water on it. Okay? Just like this. Just like this, you drip, keep on dripping water till you are okay with it. So even if there are dry spaces, it's okay. So this is how we are doing it.
Ma'am, just watercolor.
First water, only plain water. So after you've wet your paper, then you drip in whatever color you wish to. Make sure you don't touch the paper, okay? Even if you want to change something, you cannot.
Can I use my mouth to blow?
Yes, of course you can. The only rule is you can't touch the paper. So I'm trying to maneuver it right now. You can blow it as well. I'm trying to record a part of it and I'm trying to send it in the group. Dilute the paint as much as possible because then otherwise it will not drip. Okay, so make it thinner, but that's up to you. How much thin or fluid you want to make.
So we can't touch the brush with on the paper, right?
You can't touch the paper.
Can we use more than one color?
Yes, yes, of course. Yes, questions? Yes, tell me. Tell me, I'm hearing. So I'm just sending you what I was doing in the group. Maybe you can send yours also if you want to. While you are doing it, try to focus on how the paint is spreading. You know, how it's spreading, how it's taking shape. Even if you can't control it, it's taking shape. This is purely cathartic. There's no analysis behind it. I'll show you a few of my previous, this meditative painting. What I've done is make certain bookmarks for my students, which I generally give out. So I've got this whole bunch. I've cut out the paper. Then I've folded it, made it thicker, and then I've cut it out. So you can do the same thing. These are pretty good as souvenirs and all. You can write your own quotes on this. Very important that you look at how the paint is flowing through. You can blow out, but don't touch it. Because that's also metaphorical in nature, that a lot of things we don't have under our control, but it always works out very beautifully. The end result is always beautiful. What you can do is just twist and turn the paper a little bit.
But ma'am, what we can analyze from this art, like
There's no analysis in this.
it is
Just free flowing, cathartic. Play some music. If you're really very stressed, you can do this. It's really very relaxing while you're doing it. And look at the way the paint is flowing through the water, the patterns it's forming and everything. Once it dries up, it looks really, 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 good to look at, in fact. The trails of water, whatever you have, it flows through, the paint flows through. So you need to focus more on that. While you're putting the paint on the paper, you can breathe, you can focus on your breath. Okay, so it's like a mindfulness technique as well.
we can also use like to distract the mind, like if we have some bad day or we are like something going in our mind, how to distract the mind. So
Absolutely.
it will be the good exercise for that.
Yes, yes. There's another technique called finger painting. You can dip your fingers into the paint and then dab it on paper. That's a contact meditation, but this one is no contact meditation.
I really felt happy doing this, ma'am. I felt very. I sensed myself being very happy.
That's nice. That was the motto of this particular technique. To
Maybe
make
much needed one for me.
Yes. Do it more often, because this is a form of meditation. People wouldn't just sit and do meditation. For a lot of us, don't like doing that. So if you do this, this serves the purpose. Since you're mindful, since you're engaged in this, it serves the purpose of getting you into a meditative state through this artwork. You can blow out if you want to take up more space on the page, or let it be the way it is. This is also done through coffee painting. Wonderful way of doing it is those who like coffee, in fact, that they will be much more happier to do this. You can just have a little bit of coffee and same technique. You put water on the paper and then dilute the coffee and splatter it. It gives you additional, insight into your smell. Your smell sensation is activated. For the first technique, I just missed out one small part. We used 5 senses. So you can journal in what all 5 senses you have, engaged in, you could successfully engage in. Wherever you found that you couldn't engage in that particular sensation, there might be certain, conflicts going on around that sensation. So do a lot of grounding techniques. This is also a form of grounding. Meditative grounding, it serves a lot of purpose if you're doing it. What you do is take your favorite beverage, whether it's tea, coffee, or juice or whatsoever, put on some light music, and then every alternate days, or if it's possible every day, just try to engage for 5-10 minutes. It will give you an immense sense of relaxation. Okay, so it's almost time.
And can we do this exercise with the kids who are
Yes,
going
yes.
with
All
ADHD?
Yes. Wonderful, works wonderfully. Because you can engage them for pretty 15 minutes or so. And do it in a group. They find it more interesting and fun. Even anxious people, anxiety-prone children or people adults, they'll also find a little bit of calm and peace in this particular practice.
Ma'am, any analysis on the color use? Because some use only a single color.
Try not to do it. Try not to do it.
Okay, ma'am.
Just let it be the way it is. Don't analyze for this. Yes, Shwetner? Yes. tell me.
Ma'am, the question is not from this activity. It is from like past activity which we have done. Like we have drawn tree and something. Ma'am, the activity DBS.
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, about that, when we can know about it more?
See, DDS, I'm not officially trained, but it's an adaptation of DDS. So first go through the defense mechanisms properly, because the first one shows your defense also. Okay, and the second one shows your emotional state. The tree part, I'll be doing it in a separate class, but I'm doing HTP.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, in one activity we have done before this activity, we have done like 5-6. We have taken sheets and we have made some patterns. So, ma'am, about that also, I'm sorry, I have forgot that activity name.
Grad scribble.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Ma'am.
So that's those particular set of scribbles. You need to see how you're grouping it. Okay, and I see the patterns coming up. I've given you a whole list of scribbles and what they generally mean. You can always introspect. There are a lot of introspection questions attached to it. So try doing it, specifically the mother figure and the father figure.
Okay, ma'am.
How they are grouped, or with which emotions they are grouped, and why you have grouped them. So you can always start asking questions to yourself. Okay, so to wrap up, I hope you felt a little bit more relaxed. I'm not sure about that, however, since it's online, but I hope these techniques were useful for you to relax. And going on to the assignment part, students, we are meeting on Sunday at 10 a.m. I'll be sending you a detailed mail as to what to do and how to go about it. What I thought of is making you groups of 4 so that the group size becomes easier to handle. And then you can go about the gallery, go about the museum, and look for certain cues which will be stated in the the handouts. Okay, so you need to collect the handouts from me once you reach, and then we'll move around. I'll be stationed there, but what you need to do is explore the entire place and kind of reflect on certain activities, which I'll be shortly presenting you through a video in the group itself, as well as a mail. These questions will be there, these flows will be there. Once I send you the PDF, just briefly go through it, and the rest of it I'll tell you through the video. Okay. For online students, fix up a place where you can visit, like an art gallery, or if you have a good museum in your city, you can always visit there. The same instructions for you as well. Once you pick up a date and go and visit, you need to follow those instructions, gather the information, gather your experience, and journal in and send across as an assignment. Okay, because why I'm asking you to physically visit a place, because you'll get a lot more mindful, a lot more insight as to how things used to work, and it's always nice to peep into the history part of it, the psyche part of it, of all the artists who are present or who still functioning full-fledged. So that will be a physical activity which you'll be engaging in. I'll send you a short video. Go through the instructions. If you have any questions, please drop me a message. Okay. Yes, tell me.
Yeah, I just wanted to know that there are quite a few assignments. I wanted to understand uploading what we are journaling is what is required.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
The internship, that will be on someone else, the case study, which I'll be discussing in the next class. Okay, but otherwise, there has to be at least 10 assignments which you need to upload. So out of all these assignments which you're getting, the more the better, but at least a minimum of 10 assignments needs to be uploaded in your drive. The drive link will be shared through the form which is provided.
Yes, I've received that. No, my question was there's a lot of journaling related to the assignment, so we need to upload what we have journaled, right?
Yes. If you're comfortable sharing the journaling part, that's okay. That's
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any feedback? How you felt?
Relaxed, ma'am.
Relaxed. Okay. I'm glad.
As I said, I felt happier, after many long days, I felt very happy.
Okay. I'm glad. That's nice. It would be better if you can play your own music, because there's a lot of talking I'm doing. I had to. I apologize for that. But then if you have your own set of music playing in the background and engaging in this activity, it will be a whole different experience also. So that's just maybe 40% of what you experienced. If you do it on your own, in your own safe space, it will be much more enlightening and relaxing. Okay, thanks a lot. I hope you are gaining few insights through these sessions, and I'm really very excited about these sessions.
Thank you, ma'am.
We too, ma'am. Ma'am, I love the idea of the bookmarks that you have made.
You can
Lovely
make
idea.
bookmarks, you can make book covers. I make a whole different lot of things, and I give out to my students all the
There
time.
has been not a single session, and I've done child psychology diploma with you. I've done so many things with you. It's like I always have an empty vessel, and it's filled with something valuable, insightful, powerful. Thank you so much today. I'm not getting up for the next 10 minutes. Even after the class, I'll just be like doing this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good night. Have a great week, and Sunday we are meeting. Bye. Good night, all of you.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye. Good night.
Good night.